Super awesome. Welcome to Monday. I'm Tim. I'm going to be streaming my workouts for the year. The goal is to do a body transformation. And the thing that's different about this body transformation is that I'm not using any sort of supplements. So I'm not taking any sort of protein powders, protein shakes, no BCAAs, no creatine, no pre workouts. Just trying to get all of my nutrients from food. I'm not opposed to any sort of supplements. I think if you want to take supplements, go for it. I've taken supplements. Just at this point, I don't know how much good they're doing me. I've taken them for consistently over the years, and I just want to see if it's really all that necessary for me to keep taking them to hit my goals. A secondary reason for not taking them is that when my kids started preschool, preschool is not cheap. So as a result, if I don't take supplements, it saves me $100, at least $100 a month, and that's $1,200 a year. Every little bit helps. Just queuing this up real fast. I want to make sure my sound is working. And we'll dive right into biceps. I'm really excited about this week. Last week was rough. I was sick and my sleep was super not fantastic. I'm really excited about this week. I'm hoping this week's going to be a lot better, and I'm hoping to be able to get more done this week, or at least feel better this week. So the nice side is it's warming up where I'm at, so I can start taking my kids outside for runs, which is a huge benefit. All right, here we go. Warming up with the 10 pounds. 10 pounds is 4.53 kilograms. Put some big numbers on the board. I like to take time to warm up. Um, Pretty chill to warm up in your garage when you got the little weights out. Uh, when I was younger, it can be a little embarrassing to warm up. Everybody should do it. It can be embarrassing to warm up when you're in the middle of a big gym and all these guys around you have giant weights and you're there just warming up with the little weights. But warming up will save you a lot of problems in the long run. And I find that being older, it helps me kind of fill out, like, if I do anything dumb during the week, I hurt myself. Is there anything there? I'm gonna have to be extra careful, kind of feel through the mechanics of it and see where I'm at. I find like as I'm getting older, just random things will happen that makes your body feel not as like easy to just jump into it and grab weights and throw them around. Um, Done a lot of work with my body over the years, and some of that feels like it starts to catch up. It doesn't mean you have to slow down. Just being smarter about it. And there's weird things that like start to play against you when you are older. Or just like I noticed when I sleep with my kids get into bed with me. I have to hold them to keep them from like um, just going nuts in bed and moving around and wiggling so much that I can't sleep. And that holding them all night does like have like an effect on my body, on my arms at least. It was funny. I noticed with my first child, randomly when they were a baby, like my arms like started to get like really sore, And I was trying to work out. I was like, my arm's so like sore. Like, what is going on? And I was thinking, like, am I just getting old? Like, what is this? And then I realized that it was their head laying on my arm all night. And they had a very heavy head, very big head, and that like was causing me problems. And just had to readjust, and it was fine. That's not something that like I saw in a lot of baby books with literature that I was familiar with. That your kid was going to like cause you that kind of pain. The other one that was weird for me is after having kids, um, I'll look at my wrist and I started having these like wrinkles on the inside of my wrist, and that one was weird. I was like, why am I getting wrinkles inside my wrists? Like something wrong with me? And when you have babies, you're like not sleeping a lot, so you do feel like things. Your body does feel weird because you're exhausted all the time, and I knew that like things break down when you're exhausted. So I just kept thinking like, is there something wrong with me that I'm not like picking up on? And then like, I went online and looked it up, and I was like, mostly mothers get them, but you get wrinkles on the inside of your wrists from holding babies all the time. It's the only outward sign of having kids that shows up on my body because I didn't was never actually pregnant, so I don't have stretch marks like that, but just random wrinkles on my wrists. Weird in my shoulder. Um, that was a 40 pounds, 18.14 kilograms. Been been trying to do more. I do want to get higher than the 40 pounds. I feel like I've kind of plateaued a little bit at the 40 pounds, but as you can see, I really want to have it dialed in. I don't want to be rocking as much um, before moving up and increasing weight. It's just taking a little bit longer than I anticipated to get that all squared away. I think I just had really bad bad form with it before, and I think jumping from 30 pounds to 40 pounds instead of like doing like this half step at 35 pounds may have been a mistake. I just really excited to get to 40 pounds. So now I'm just, stalled out here trying to clean up bad habits and form before moving up. I really don't want to go to 45 pounds, so I'm very clean and dialed in. It's hard when you let your ego get ahead of itself for yourself and you grab weights that you aren't necessarily ready for. It'd be very hard to step back. And that's where I'm at. It's hard to step back. But what's up, EU Mitsuki? Good morning. Having a good Monday. Right now I'm working on it's gonna be my last set of the 40 pounds, which is 18.14 kilograms. Thank you, EU Mitsuki. Is the EU for Europe, or is that just the EU is the name? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right. Oh, that was a badass one. Switch username. It's not my name. Aha. All right. So that's the 3 sets I wanted to do at the 40 pounds. Got really ugly at the end. I think I'm gonna do one more set with the 40s of as much as I can do before it gets sloppy. Try and keep from getting too sloppy. Did you have a good weekend? Did you do anything exciting this last weekend? I didn't do anything really exciting for me. I took one of my kids to a play date, which was different. I'd never taken my kid to a play date before. So there's a couple of kids from their preschool, and it's just weird. It was different because I'm older, and the other parents are 10 years younger than me. Actually, 14 years, 14 years younger than me, and it's just very different hanging out with people that were 14 years younger. I just haven't, most of my friend group are older family, so it's interesting hanging out with, you know, I mean, we're like generations apart. Like I grew up, like I was 16 when 9/11 happened, and these guys were like not born, or I think two. Oh, you're young and beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I yeah, it was just different. It was interesting. One of their one of their dads, this was at one of their parents' house because they were younger. Their dad showed up or was there, and their dad was only 10 years older than me. That was funny. All right, four. That's it. Gonna be stepping down to 35 pounds, which is 15.87 kilograms. Should I show it on the shirt? Yes. Oh, thank you very much. All right. All right, 35 pounds. 35, 15.87 kilograms. Still trying to learn kilograms, or get used to saying kilograms. All right. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Man, one of my kids woke me up like this morning, 20 minutes before my alarm was set to go off. Came wandering into the room, and they're chilling in bed with my wife. Thankfully, went back to sleep. Took some going, but they passed back out. But a couple of nights ago, I let them fall asleep with a tablet, and they passed out. And I didn't go in and take it from them, and I should have, because when we woke up the next morning, they were already like wide awake and playing with their tablet in their bed. And I don't know how long they were awake, but when it was nap time, they slept for like 4 hours straight, almost 5 hours. So I think they woke up sometime early in the morning, really early, and started playing with that tablet. And usually they wake me up around like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and they didn't that morning. So I think they just started playing at like 4 a.m. I was like a bad move on my part. Oh, that was a bad one. Last one was a little sloppy. Let's give it a little bit of time to jump back into it. All right, today is Monday. We try not to let the kids have their tablets during the school week. Today we will be going outside for some very long hikes in the hills. I like taking the kids for hikes. I think it's good. It makes them think better at walking when you have them out on hills and stuff, because they have to get better at paying attention to their footing. We do like a 2 mile hike, uphill, downhill, on like rocky trail. So they get lots of chances to pay attention to what they're doing and not slip and fall. The stressful part about it for me is that on either side of the trail are usually pretty big patches of poison oak, and I have to like make sure that they stay on the trail the whole time because if they get in that poison oak, there's like a 50-50 chance it could be bad for them. My wife's grandpa is immune, but never had a problem with poison oak. Somehow I ended up having a big problem in the last few years. I didn't really have like a big problem with poison oak until like a few years ago. I was working. I had a business that did like, like lawn management or property management. So I was bidding a job for this vacation rental property that had like I think 14 acres, and part of it was taking care of this like huge back area and keeping all the weeds down. And the previous gardener left these like big piles, burn piles in the back. And I made the mistake. It was in the middle of it was in November, and I made the mistake of touching one of the piles without thinking about it, and didn't realize that there had been poison oak in the pile because there were no leaves. And I got on my face, and my face like started to have a reaction, but because I didn't realize I had been in poison oak, I didn't wash it off or do anything to it, and it just swelled up. And it was like a couple of days of not doing anything besides like regular face washing, and regular face washing doesn't take the oils off. So it was just the oils just sitting on my face for a while. And then somehow it got a staph infection, and my whole face just swelled up. My head swelled up. It was huge. I looked horrible. I looked like I had like elephantitis. My face was just like completely swollen, and like I started to swell a little bit on like a Friday. My wife and I were supposed to go on vacation for the weekend, so I was like, "Well, let's go. I'm sure it'll be fine." And like 2 days in our vacation, my like eye was swollen shut. It was like bad. I had a fever. I came home and like went to the doctor and said, "Yeah, you got a staph infection from the poison oak, or made you vulnerable, and you got a staph infection." And it was bad. It took like a while to heal. And then I ended up with scars, um, light scarring on my face, and then eventually it went away. It's when I get really tan in the summer, it starts to show up. What's up, Plosh? What's up, Bowser? All right. So done with the 35s. That's 15.7 kilograms. Gonna go on down to 30 pounds, which is 13.6 kilograms. I'm good, Plosh. Just talking about poison oak. I don't know if you guys have poison oak in Saudi Arabia, but we have this plant here that grows in the hills. It can give you like a not fantastic rash. So serious symptoms depending on how allergic you are to it. Do you guys have any poisonous plants that grow around where you're at? I don't think so. But you guys have like poisonous snakes and spiders, right? Or am I misremembering that? Don't you guys get like was it asps or Even do you get black mambas there? Maybe poisonous animals or bugs, but not plants. Uh, I know they have. I think that I think there's black mambas over there, right? What's up, twitching lock boy or twing lock boy? I was reading a book when I was a kid, and they were talking about black mambas, and that black mambas could chase down and did chase down people on horses. That was one of the uh, scarier snakes to me. Do you take creatine? I don't. I'm not opposed to it, but this year, it's kind of one of the reasons for streaming and posting is I'm not taking any supplements to kind of see what a year of no supplements looks like. So I'm not taking any protein, not taking any like BCAAs, no pre-workout, just trying to get everything I can from food. Just didn't know. I've taken supplements for so long. I don't know if they're necessary for what I want to do, and I just wanted to see what it would look like without it. So at this point, I mean it's April. You know, it's been over 3 months of no supplements. So I am a dad. I do have kids. Bosch says we do have black mambas, but we have a problem with them. How how prolific are black mambas where you are? Like we have rattlesnakes, but I don't see them a lot. No, I'm from California. Like we have mountain lions and black bears where I'm at, but you don't really see them. You rarely you'll hear stories of somebody coming across a mountain lion, and in the last like 10 years, I've only heard one story of someone coming across a black bear. Watch says the problem is we have another species that looks like a black mamba. Well, that's fun. Get a little get a little scared sometimes. Are you from Texas, Twin Lock Boy? We have a snake out here called a king snake, and it likes to mimic other snakes. When I was a kid, we came across one, and it was like rattling its tail to try and look like a rattlesnake. And then it managed to flatten out its head too, to almost make it look like a cobra, which is weird because we don't have any cobras around. So I don't know why it was trying that. maneuver, or even how it knew that a flattened head would make it look like a scarier snake. But it was a very confused king snake who decided if it wanted to pretend to be a cobra or a rattlesnake. We have a snake mimic spider's move. Is that the viper? I just saw this, like heard about this snake on the weekend. It's a, I think it's a viper, and the back of its tail looks like a spider. Yeah, tailhorn viper. That is a nightmare fueled snake. That is a very scary looking snake. I felt better about life before I knew that existed. There, just such a crazy thing. So what I saw is that it hides and it puts its tail out to look like a spider. So birds will go for the spider and then kill the bird. That is what we call the bait and switch. Have you seen one of those like in the wild at all, Bosch? I'm thinking God about that. Yeah. My my brother and I came across a 4 foot long rattlesnake when we lived in the desert. We were playing paintball late at night in the desert and came across it. Huge sucker. And you know, we got rid of it. Couldn't have it hanging out where we were playing. My friend, we had another friend. We were all playing out in the desert, and we were playing laser tag that day. And we, I hear him yell "snake," and I come running over, and he'd been playing, and he had ran and jumped off this big boulder, and you could see this big old red rattlesnake, and you could see my buddy's skid marks all the way up to the snake. Like he was within less than a foot of the snake when he realized there was this big rattlesnake. Um, so I'm in the rattlesnake. So slides right up to the rattlesnake, and the only reason why it didn't bite him was it had a rabbit in its mouth. It had a full-grown rabbit in its mouth. So that's the one thing that saved him. It was so close, and if he had slid like that and jumped on top of that rattlesnake, I think he probably would have gotten a full dose of venom. It's rattlesnakes can control how much venom they give you, and they'll give you, kind of how much of a threat they think you are. And I think if you jump on it, it probably thinks you're a serious threat. You're right, it was snakes or bug. I had the snakes. That rattlesnake, that was a pretty big rattlesnake too. I think that rattlesnake was over 3 feet long. It was big. And then eventually it dropped the rabbit and then it wanted to fight, but it like dislocated its jaw to swallow that rabbit. So you got to watch the snake trying to readjust its jaw. It was interesting. Snakes are fun. All right. Got one more set with the 30 pounds, 13.6 kilograms. And then switch up to abs. There's this Bowser. There's this story about this girl has this pet boa constrictor, and she's had it for like years. And supposedly she would sleep with it in her bed. And one day the boa constrictor stopped eating, and then over a while, it just longer and longer, it was just not eating. And in the story, the girl goes to the vet and tells the vet, like, gets the snake looked at and tells the vet that the snake's like not eating and starving. And he tells her, listen, you need to, when you go home, you cannot sleep with the snake anymore. He's not sick. He's starving himself because he's getting ready to eat you. And if you sleep with him anymore, he's going to try and eat you. And he's big enough that he can manage it. So, but that's one of those legendary stories that have been around forever. I don't know if it's a true story, but it sounds like it could be true. All right. That's it for the biceps. Gonna do some quick ab work. But 10 minutes to get this done. So I can never forget that your wild animals or that your pets are wild animals first and foremost. No matter how friendly they are, no matter how long you've had them. There was this story for a long time, and this one I think is true because it sounds more plausible than the snake story. And I heard it a few times. But this lady, this old lady finds this raccoon, and as a baby, she finds this baby raccoon, and she keeps it as a pet. And everyone tells her you can't keep it as a pet, you know. And she like has it in her bed with her and sleeps with it. And they tell her like over and over again, like it's nice now, but when it hits maturity, it's gonna go after you. And in the story, she like one night it does like it just snaps one night and just tears her like face apart. I don't know if she lived or not, but the raccoon is tore into her. Um, and that one I think is probably a true story. I've known a few people that have tried to keep wild animals as pets, like raccoons. There's someone that had an albino uh, possum when I was a kid. Those are some ugly creatures. I think possums have some of the grossest looking smiles. They don't look so bad until they look at you and open those mouths. They have all these like sharp teeth. All right, so it was just 40 quick crunches, and now I'm gonna be doing 20-pound dumbbell. 20 pounds is 9.07 kilograms. And again, the whole point of the dumbbell is to lower the amount of reps I have to do for the time. I'm trying to get better results and having to do thousands of crunches. All right, I'm done with that. Out of time for today. Thank you for coming by. I hope you have a good Monday and a great week. God bless you. Take care.